Hello guys, and today I've got another tutorial. So what we're going to be doing is, if you can see this is just basically I took this car model from the Unity's what you call it, the Unity's car tutorial, and this is a map, one of the maps for our game. As you can see, it's not textured because I couldn't be bothered texturing it, and I placed some cubes there, some random cubes. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make it your game or how to make it so people can interact when you're connected using the network, how you can actually play the game. So if I play the game right now, as you can see, there's a car. It's a rubbish script, trust me, it sucks. So uh, you can just like move around using the car, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna make it so this is network compatible. Now, to get started, first we need to get the main camera and all of the players stuff and into a empty game object. So I'm just gonna call this player. Get the main camera and those into the player and create a prefab of it. Now we can delete the player. Save this. Okay, now let's create a new scene. And these are my network tutorials from my previous stuff, so I'm just going to drag those in, and let's play it just to test it once. Good, everything's working. And I'm going to go to edit, project settings, player, and check the run in background. I forgot about that last time, so save this, and I'm going to save it in scene, call this menu. Now let's see, if we create a server, I want to see what happens. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm just gonna see. Okay, so nothing basically happens. In fact, what I want to do is make this disappear when the server, when you connect it. So let's just do that. So connection script. Takes a bit of time to load. So um, okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. Where is that? On G. Okay, there it is. Just cut this, and I'm gonna put this inside there. That should do it. Okay, now what I want to do is, as soon as the person is connected, I want it to then actually go to the other scene. So, and I need to search up the exact words. I think it's on connected to server. So I'm just gonna go to the network uh, in Unity there. This actually helps a lot. It tells you what things there are that you can use, the classes. So I'm just going to use this on connected to server and on Intellize server. So I'm just going to open those two, and it even tells you how to use this. So I'm going to use the C# version, and I'm going to copy this. So copy on server Intellize. So this is basically run or ran or executed as soon as the server is Intellize. And we're going to copy the other one and C#. This one is on connected to server. So this is run or ran or executed when you're connected to the server. And those are only run or ran or executed, whatever you like. I'm just going to say executed now. These are only executed when once, so keep that in mind. So what we want to do is load a different scene. So application dot load level, and we can either type in a string name or number. The number corresponds to the file build settings. The number corresponds to the level number. So make sure both of those your scene are actually in there. So the first scene is obviously the scene you want to load at the beginning, which is going to be the menu, and that's it. So I'm just going to put the scene name there. It needs to be exact, so you might want to copy and paste it, and hopefully I don't make a huge mess of it, and I think that's right. Okay, now let's test this. We should be able to go to the other scene as soon as we create a server or connect. So create server, and we're in the other scene, but there is no main camera, so that's why we can't see anything. But as you can see, we're in the other scene, and you probably realized, hey, what happened to these scripts? Yeah, we actually have a problem now. So as soon as we get to the other scene, this script goes away, and you're not connected anymore. To fix this, what we can do is void wake. So as soon as this starts, I want to activate this function called don't destroy on load, and I want to make a game object. So as long as this script is in this game object won't be destroyed. If your chat script is in the same thing, then that's good. If it's somewhere else in like another game object, then you might want to put that in the don't destroy on load thing in there as well. So let's play this and let's try this again, and let's see what happens. Okay, it's loading it, and as you can see, we just loaded fine, and it didn't destroy this object, so which is awesome. Now what we want to do is I want to create a button beside the disconnect button saying spawn, and it's going to spawn the actual thing. So if GUI layout dot button spawn, and this is how we spawn it in the in network. So you don't for us to spawn an object in every single computer over the network, we use network dot oops let's call that dot sorry network dot instantiate, and here is the game object we want to spawn. So let's go up and create a prefab public and game object. Let's make it a car. So we're going to spawn the car, comma, and what position we want to spawn it in. And I'm just going to choose transform the position, so it's going to spawn it at the current position, comma, transform dot rotation, so it's going to spawn it at uh, the game object the script is attached to, its position and its rotation, and we need to enter in the network ID for this. So I'm just going to make a 0. Remember, every single game object should have a different network ID. So and the owner of this will be the person who clicked spawn. So if I click spawn, it will spawn it in uh, every computer that's connected, but I will be the owner. I'll be the only person owning that. So I'm gonna make it so the only person who's owning it can control that car, no one else can. So when they click spawn, it spawns it in every other thing, every other uh, computer that's connected, and they can only control it. So let's put the player in the car, and um, we can test this out one more, even though I'm testing it like every 2 seconds. So loading and spawn. I think, yeah, the camera is a little too low, so I'm gonna make it a little up of. You don't need to, by the way, do this. You can put in an empty object and put the camera in the other scene. So, you know, maybe it's better that way, or who knows. It just needs to be perfect for you, obviously. I'm just showing you how to start this. So there's a car we can move around, and you're pretty much thinking that, oh, this is done, is that it? That's really easy. But actually there's are a lot of things wrong with this. The first thing is um, okay, yeah, that I didn't actually notice that, but we'll get to that later. It's actually supposed to tell the speed and the gear there, but who cares about that for now. The first thing that's wrong with it is two main cameras are active and two audio listeners are active at the moment. As you can see, it says there are two audio listeners. There should only be one audio listener. So if you look inside player, there's the main camera, there's the audio listener there, and in the main camera, this camera is activated, but it shouldn't be activated. So this is going to be disabled, and the audio listener in it is going to be disabled as soon as we spawn. And there's another problem. See this player, this if I just bring it up, yeah, player isn't actually being projected uh, networkly like to everyone. So if you move the car in your game, the car will move, but in the others, they would seem that you're not even moving. So to make it so it synchronizes everything, what we need to do is add a component called uh, network viewer. So it synchronizes everything, as you can see, and its view ID is 1, which is good. And I think yes, that is it, but there is other problems. We shall get to that later on. So I'm gonna overwrite this, or you can click apply there, so and then delete this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so it disables the camera and the audio listener when the player is spawned. And when obviously the player dies, then you might want to enable this, you know. So spawn, we want to get component. Oh, by the way, I just realized that some people actually don't know uh, why we do get component and stuff like that. So I'll just try to explain this a little bit. So every game object has some components. Even an empty game object has a component. As you can see, I just created an empty object. It's got nothing there, but it's got a transform component and a header. Every object needs a transform component and a header. The transform component basically tells the position, where the position is. It handles the position, the rotation, and the scale of the object. Header is basically tag, the layer of the object is the object static, and the name of the object. So pretty simple. Whenever you create a script, that is basically like a component. You can attach it to a game object. So you've got this component, and we can access these other components like the camera. These are built-in components that come with Unity, so you don't actually have to script this. So the camera, uh, we can access this component. We can change anything from the script. To access this component, we usually do or to access any component, we usually first type in the game object we want to access the component from. So if you type in game object, it's referring to the game object that the script is attached to. So if you type in like car, for example, now it's referring to the car or the player game object, and then we can do dot get component and get the component from the car, whatever component we want. But we're not doing that. We're actually accessing the game object, the current object the script is attached to, and we're getting its component. So there's actually an easy way of doing this. Instead of typing in get game object, we can ignore this and just type in get component, the next line. Remember, get component and game object dot get component is the exact same thing. So I'm just going to type in this, and we can do this. In by the way, in JavaScript, I'll show you the JavaScript version later on. So now we type in the name of the app, the thing we want to access. We want to access the camera component, and put a dot there. And what we want to do is make it active. And make that equals to false, or we can do, there's another thing we can do, false. We can either do that, or as you can see, it's got a little green line because that isn't, it's good, but it's not, you know, as good as enabled. So enabled is the best choice. So anyways, there's another way of doing this. Obviously we can remove the game object dot get, and it'll still work fine. So in JavaScript, what you do is you type the same thing, but basically you put the camera inside these brackets, and you don't need these brackets. So that's basically JavaScript version. And we also want to access the audio listener component and make it false. Get component and audio listener and dot enabled equals to false. So that's done, and we shall test the game. And you're probably thinking that was simple and it's probably done now, but it's actually not done just yet. We are really close to it being done, but it's not done yet. So as you can see, we can move around. Awesome, it's working fine as it's supposed to. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, if in the network view, if you go there, it actually gives you a list of state synchronization. Reliable data compressed is basically it's syncing like uh, a lot. So it's sending and receiving data a lot. Unreliable is not too much, and off is basically just turning it off and it's not even syncing anything. So okay, now uh, let's unplay this and build it, and you'll see what I'm actually talking about and why we're not done. You might think that we are done now. So okay, I'm just gonna launch this game and uh, create a server. Okay, yeah, yes, allow. Come on, Windows, don't crash on me. There we go. And I can spawn, and I shall move away so the other player has room to spawn in. Okay, now I'll move this window to the other monitor, and I shall play here. And refresh server, connect. By the way, you might want to make it so when the game actually starts, it automatically refreshes the servers. Okay, uh, basically we're getting this error is because it's saying um, the thing we're connected to, the what you call it, the server. Yeah, the server is sending two uh, state synchronization, or it's sending two things to be synced, but you don't even have them. So that's why you might want to make a lobby system so everyone joins and starts at the same time. So you don't have like some game objects here, because if you look here, there's no sign of the car, but there is a car there. So yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do is disconnect, and I'm going to make uh, we might actually want to make it so when you disconnect it goes back to the other scene, but we shall leave that for now and we shall start the game again. I think, oh, oops, wrong thing. There we go. Play, and this time I won't spawn. So um, so created a server. As you can see, I'm not spawning. I'm gonna wait for the other guy to join, and then we're gonna spawn at the same time. Connect and loading. So now it's not actually giving any errors. So let's spawn. Okay, as you can see, I spawned and I can move around. Okay, and if we look in this view, and this guy is moving around, and we can both control the same car, or we should be able to control the same car. I don't know why we can't, but yes. Anyways, there is something wrong here. As you can see, we're looking at from his angle, and we can both control the same car, but if we spawn here, we've got two cars, and now he's looking at our camera. So what we need to do is we need to disable the cameras that if it's not like our camera, we need to disable it. So go into your camera script, wherever it is, And what you can do is private void start, and we can make it so if network view dot is mine, so if you're the owner, then you don't want to do anything. So if you're not the owner, then you want to disable, get the camera script or camera component, I should say, dot and make it false. Get the listener. I'm just gonna copy this. Get the audio listener and make that false, and then we're going to make this script false because we don't really need this script for enabled. And we're just going to copy this code into our car script. So we actually don't even need the main camera. We can just make a script so it destroys it. But remember, if you destroy it, you might wanna if you destroy it in the other views, you might wanna disable the network view in your view. So go into your car and double click the car script, and at the start we're just going to put that in, and obviously we're not gonna have a start function inside a start function. There we go. And now if you go back to our main camera, as you can see there's no network view there, so we might want to add a network view because we're accessing it. Remember, we did network view dot is mine, so we're accessing the network view. It can also be game object dot network view dot is mine. So there we go. Now our script should be good to go. We can build this. In fact, before we build this, we can make it so if you disconnect it, you go back to the lobby, and we can also make it so if you spawn, then you can't spawn again. So if you disconnect, then app, oops. Or we can do, instead of putting it there, we can do even a better way, which is if you go back here, there's on disconnect from server. So on disconnect from server, we're just gonna copy this and we shall put it there. And we want to load the app, load level, and I think it's called menu. Yep, we call it menu. And on what else? I think that's it. Yep, on disconnected from server. And now we can, in fact, if you're the server, obviously you can't disconnect from the server because you're the server. So we can make it if a network dot is server. Now we can check if you're the server. If you are, then it's going to go to the menu scene, and I want to disconnect before you go to the menu scene so it doesn't create any errors, So now we should be good to go. Let's build this. Build and run. Yep, there. Yes, I want to replace that. And we will be good to go after this. Hopefully nothing bad will happen. Create a server. There's our chat script. We can actually test that later on. Oh, I forgot to make it so if you spawn, then you can't spawn again. In fact, we will do that after we test it, but I won't test it again. So, or I might test it again, who knows. We'll see how this goes. Spawn. And we spawn. I'm gonna move away so the other player can spawn. Obviously you're gonna have different spawn points. You can create an array. We might just do that in the other tutorial. And oh, as you can see, my script is really bad, and for the car, obviously the tires are acting really strange. Okay, anyways, as you can see, we can drive around. Obviously I want to do something about those scripts, and let's see what the bug is. It says null exception something, I have no idea. Let's double click it and see, find out what is causing this. Okay, oh yes, it's saying that the camera doesn't exist in this, and that's kind of obvious, isn't it? So, and the audio listener doesn't exist because there is no camera in this game object. There's no camera component or audio listener component. So that's why it's giving us the error. We can just remove those lines and it should be fine. But as you can see, my car script needs a little adjustment because if you can't tell, the wheels are acting weird. I'm pretty sure you can tell though. So we can pretty much play the game now. I can bump in the other player and I can view it from this and we're actually doing, and we can chat. First create as a username obviously. Chat hi send. Well, why is it not sending? Have I got a network view in this? I don't think, yes, I didn't have a network view. That explains a lot. So component Milkless network view. Yeah, we need the network view beside the chat because it accesses the network view. And let's disconnect from there. And let's make it so you can't spawn again. Where is that connection script, I think? So double click. So if spawn, well, I'm just gonna make a boolean variable. So private bool and call this spawned equals to false. So spawned equals to true, and it's only gonna display the spawn button if spawned is false. By the way, the reason why I didn't put this in the bottom, because it doesn't matter, it's gonna play this entire thing even if it turns true there. So that is it, I think. Let's edit the car script. Remember, it doesn't have the audio listener component and the camera. It doesn't have those two components inside it, so we can just discard those. We actually don't need the I don't think we need the rigid body component, but who knows, we'll just leave that, and I'm pretty sure you can't disable it because there's not like a check mark there, so who knows. But yeah, we don't need some of the stuff, and it's actually a good idea to disable them, so you know your game actually runs faster and it doesn't create lag at all. Because if you look at the data that's being sent, there isn't much data that's being sent, and I'm not even connected to anyone to send the data. So let's build, so I can actually show you or tell you that there's you shouldn't send that much data. And okay, let's run this. Create a server. Oh, by the way, the reason why I always call my servers plus is because that's the closest key to my mouse, and I just use my thumb to press it. That's why. So, oh, by the way, I can show you that. As you can see, the plus thing is gone, and you can actually see my speed and see how bad is my car script. I'm actually just like practicing some stuff. So refresh, connect, and I wanna come on. Okay, yep, and oh, we got it. Oh yeah, we spawned before that guy connected. Okay, let's try again, and let's not spawn this time. What the hell? Clear. And why can't I move this? Okay, fine, I can still create a server. Okay, refresh, connect. And we've got 2 disconnects. Oh, I see why that happened, by the way. Yeah, we might not want to do that. As you can see this main camera, it doesn't delete itself. So if we create a server and then we disconnect, the old main camera is there and now the new main camera is there, so that's why it's giving us the error. So you might want to do something like if there is another main camera, then just destroy this. The way to do it is, as you can see, it's called tag main camera. So we can do this. Okay, at private void start. Okay, if game object dot, oops, no, we're not accessing our game object, we're just accessing the class called game object dot find game objects with tag, and this is an array, so dot length. We're checking how many game objects are tagged with the tag called main camera, and if there is more than one, then destroy game object. Oops, we're not accessing the class this time, we're actually accessing our game object. So let's test this out now. And the reason why I didn't do network.destroy because you only go back to the scene if you're not connected. So as you can see, the other game object isn't there anymore. So let's build and run this, and hopefully this tutorial will end. And in fact, I remembered that I need to do a tutorial on for loops or something. A guy was asking me, and I actually completely forgot about that. So let's spawn and move away. In fact, I can't be bothered moving away. Let's refresh and connect. I don't care if I spawn on top of that guy. And as you can see, the actual bytes sent. This is byte per second that are sending. So 400 and about 450 bytes. And if you don't know what bytes, how much is a byte, and hopefully you do know what a byte is, but if you don't, then that is basically, let's say 500 bytes, roughly 500, and divide by 1024 by 1024. That's how many megabytes it's sending. As you can see, it's to the power of minus 10 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Just saying. Maybe we'll have a better luck if we do this. 1024 by 1024. This is the megabytes it's sending. That's how many megabytes. So really small amount of bytes. And yeah, oh, we spawned before that. Oh my god, I keep messing that up. Anyways, before I end this, I just want to do some for loop, show you about the for loop, since this guy was asking me. So let's just create a private void update function somewhere, possibly here, and maximize this and show you what I'm doing. So we can create for, and we can do int c equals to 0 and c is smaller than, let's say, 10 c++. So this is going to repeat 10 times, so we can do print c, and let's see what happens. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and by the way, if you're watching this and you're saying it only repeated 9 times, you should count the 0. So 1 2 3 4 5, all that. So anyways, that's why it did repeat 10 times, if you don't include a 0, obviously. And now there's actually more things you can do with the for loop that pretty much I think most people don't tell you, is if you do, if c is, and let's say, equal to 5, then we're gonna just do continue, and you'll see what happens. Oh, oops, we need to type in 2 equals. And let's see what happened. We still got 9, so let's see what happened. 0 1 2 3 4, and what happened to 5? And the thing happened to 5 is when the for loop sees continue, it says, "Oh, okay, that's it for that, and I won't run the rest of it. I will just like go to the next one." But if we type break, then what is going to happen is it's just going to stop there. So these are the things you should be using in your for loops if you want to use them, obviously. For each is another loop you should know about, and basically the job of that is, say you got some game. No, let's see. What can we have? Let's see. Maybe you have. Okay, yes. Let's see. Let's do that. So, game object C. You can make it any letter or anything you want in. So we created a variable called C, and it's a game object. In JavaScript, obviously you'll do var C game object, something like that. But we're doing C sharp, so it's game object C in game object dot find objects with tag main camera. So what it's going to do is it's going to get each of the objects that are tagged with main camera, and then we can go through all of the game objects that are tagged with main camera, sorry, and we can access their components by doing c dot and do something, so every single game object that is tagged with main camera will do whatever's inside this for each loop. So this is like very useful or something. Also, I do want to mention that you shouldn't be using too many find or find with tag, get component, these kind of stuff. They actually do take up some processing power, and you know it's uh, it's not good to use them a lot. So this is only for testing purposes and to actually teaching you so you can code your own stuff. So thanks for watching, and please leave comments if you have any question, or if you just want to leave a comment. See ya.